of the question. The first part of the question was write down the ordinates of k. So what is the ordinate of this point k? Ordinate of the point k is 0. Okay, because the y coordinate of this point is 0. Next, ratio in which k divides AB. Now last time I had taken the ratio as m is to n. Okay, so this time I'll take the ratio as k is to 1. Let the ratio in which the line segment AB is divided at k b k is to 1 and the coordinates of k b a comma 0. Okay, so now if k divides eb in the ratio k is to 1, then what should be this part? How many parts lie here? Here k parts lie. And how many parts lie here? Here only one part lies. Right? If the ratio is k is to 1, therefore k parts must lie here and one part must lie on the other side. That is, ek is k parts and kb is one part. So therefore I write the ratio ak is to kb. Therefore ak is to kb is equal to k is to 1. Okay, now we are going to find out the coordinates of k. We know the ratio. We take this as our x1 y1 and this as our x2 y2. Okay, so I told you the direction is important. Okay, so if you are starting from a, then this must be my k and this must be my x1 y1, and if you are starting from b, then it should be the other way around. Okay, you'll take the ratio bk is to k. So let's take a as x1 y1 such that k parts lie here. Okay, so let's write the coordinates. So here let me write what is x1, what are x1 and y1. X1 is 2, y1 is 3. Okay, and x2 is 6, y2 is minus 5. M here, this is the ratio m is to n. Okay, so m here is k and n here is 1. Okay, now we'll write the coordinates of k. So therefore, coordinates of k. We'll write the section formula mx2 plus nx1 by m plus n. My2 plus ny1 by m plus n. Now, so what should be the coordinates of k? M here is k. X2 here is 6. N here is 1. X1 here is 2. M plus n is k plus 1. Okay, and similarly here m is k, y2 is minus 5, n is 1, y1 is 3, m plus n is k plus 1. So this is coordinates of k comes as 6k plus 2 by k plus 1 and minus 5k plus 3 by k plus 1. And what are the coordinates of k we have taken here? We have taken the coordinates of k as e comma 0. So therefore 6k plus 2 by k plus 1 minus 5k plus 3 by k plus 1, this must be equal to a 0. Okay, so that means the y coordinate must be, that is, minus 5k plus 3 by k plus 1 is equal to 0. Call this 1. And we have 6k plus 2 by k plus 1 is equal to a. Call this 2. So from 1 we are going to calculate the value of k. From 1 we have minus 5k plus 3 by k plus 1 is equal to 0. That means minus 5k plus 3 must be equal to 0. That means minus 5k is equal to minus 3. K is equal to minus 3 by minus 5, which is 3 by 5. So the value of k that I have got is 3 by 5. And what was the ratio? Ratio was ak is to kb is equal to k is to 1. This was the ratio. Ratio ak is to kb is k is to 1. K, the value of k we have got as 3 by 5. So the ratio is 3 by 5 is to 1. And what do you mean by 3 by 5 is to 1? 3 by 5 is to 1 means 3 by 5 by 1, which is 3 by 5. So therefore the ratio is 3 is to 5. Okay. So instead of, what you see here is the difference between the first and the second method is that in the first method we had taken two values, m and n, and we were finding m by n. Here we have taken only one, k is only k, and we are finding out the value of k, which becomes ultimately becomes the ratio k is to 1, which gives us the same value 3 is to 5. So we have calculated the ratio. The first part of the question has been answered. That is, find the ratio in which k divides ab. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask here any step which you could not understand. So I proceed. Therefore, ratio we have got 3 is to 5. And now we are going to use 2. From 1, we have got the value of k. So we now use 2 to get the value of the coordinate of a. That is the value of a. So from 2, 6k plus 2 by k plus 1 must be equal to a. Put the value here. Okay, the value of k we have got as 3 by 5. Okay. Take the LCM in the numerator also. 18 plus 10. It's 5 and this 5 cancel off. You simply get 28 by 8, which you cancel. 7 by 2. Hence, what is the coordinate of K? Coordinate of K was A comma 0, isn't it? The value of A we have got as 7 by 2. So this is the coordinates of K. Any question? Which one you find easier, the first method or the second method?
So the second method.
Fine. Okay. So if there are no questions, then I proceed to our next formula. It is in fact the next formula is nothing but a part of the section formula, a special case of the section formula. This formula is called the midpoint formula. Now, what does this mean? What does the midpoint formula mean? Midpoint. What do you mean by a midpoint? Any point that lies midway between 2 points. Let us say we have a line segment. Okay. Let us say you have this point as A, whose coordinates are given to you as x1, y1. And let us say I have another point here, B, whose coordinates are given to you as x2, y2. Now, suppose I take a point P here that is midway between A and B, P, okay, such that this AP is equal to this PB, okay. Then the question here is, what should be the coordinates of P? Now, you must make a very important observation here that uh, when a point P lies midway between the 2 points, then AP and PB, this ratio must be equal to 1:1 because one part will lie here and one part will lie here if P is midway between A and B. So AP is to PB must be equal to 1:1. Therefore, from section formula, what should be the coordinates? This should be the coordinates by section formula of P. What are the values of M and N? M here is, we have taken, well, let us, this one is x1, y1. So we'll take M is equal to 1 and we'll take N is equal to 1. So M lies towards A and N lies towards B, which is equal to, put M and N equal to 1. What you get here is x2 plus x1 by 1 plus 1, y2 plus y1 by 1 plus 1. So therefore, if you simplify this, you will get the coordinates of P as x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. This is a fairly easy formula. If P lies midway between 2 points A and B, then the coordinates of P is given by this. This is called the midpoint formula. Okay, you have to remember this formula, midpoint formula. I've done the derivation for you just to show you that this ratio is 1:1. Okay, so let's see an example. Look at example 1. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of the line segment joining the points 5, -11 and 4, 3. No need to draw the line here, but since this is the first example, I'll be drawing a straight line and illustrating this. Okay, so this is your point A. Let us take this point A as 5, -11. And the other point here is B. Let us take this point as 4, 3. Okay. You have to find out the coordinates of the midpoint of this segment. Let P be the midpoint here. Let us see P is the midpoint. Okay, so we'll start by saying let the given points, because we are naming the points, so I'll write let the given points be a 5 minus 11 and b 4 3, such that p is the midpoint of the segment, of the line segment AB. Okay, so what is, now see here in midpoint formula, what you must see here is that in midpoint formula the order is not important. You can take this as your x1 y1, this as your x2 y2, no problem. Okay, or you can take this as your x2 y2 and this as your x1 y1. Either way you can take. There is no direction in midpoint formula. In section formula there was a direction, because the way we are taking the ratio, we had to take the direction accordingly. But here you can take any one as your x1 y1 and x2 y2. Okay, so let us take this as our x1 y1 and this as our x2 y2. x1 y1 x2 y2. So what is x1 here? x1 is 5, y1 is minus 11, okay, and we have x2 as 4 and y2 as 3. So therefore what should be the coordinates of p? Coordinates of p, x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. Let's write the formula first. x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2, which is equal to p x1 5, x2 4 by 2, y1 minus 11, y2 3, 2. Equal to p 9 by 2, and this is minus 8 by 2, which is p 9 by 2 and minus 4, which you can also write as p 4.5 comma minus 4. So no problem. Okay, so this is your coordinates of the midpoint. Any question with midpoint formula? Let us attempt the next one. The next example is the line segment A minus 3 1 and B 5 minus 4 is a diameter of a circle. What do you mean by diameter of a circle? Last, I think in class 9 I told you. What do you mean by diameter of a circle? Anyone?
Sir, I can say
Say. What do you mean
the
by diameter?
diameter circle is the line which passes through the center of the circle and make it two half.
Exactly. It is the longest chord which passes through the center of a circle, isn't it? The longest chord that passes through the center of a circle. Okay, who was that? I could not
Sir, I
identify.
Farhan.
Farhan. Okay, so draw a circle and draw a line also as a diameter. Let us take the center of the circle as C and draw a line that passes through this C. Okay, so this becomes our diameter. The question that is given here is the line segment A and B is the diameter of circles. So let us take this point as E minus 3, 1. So this is our point A. Okay, and the point B here is the other end of the diameter, B 5 minus 4. And the question is find the coordinates of the center. Now, clearly, let's see, we say let C be the center of the circle. Let A be, let A minus 3, 1, B 5 minus 4 be the extremities of the diameter, the extreme points, be the extremities of the diameter of a circle with center C. Therefore, C must be the midpoint of AB. Therefore, C is the midpoint of AB. If C is the midpoint of AB and the coordinates of A and B are given, then we can find out the coordinates of C by midpoint formula. Therefore, coordinates of C is, we take any one as x1, y1. Let us take this as x1, y1, and this one as x2, y2. So my x1 is minus 3, x2 is 5, and y1 is 1. And now remember, in your exams, if you have problems, especially in using section formula, okay, what you will do is with a pencil, you will write x1, y1, which you will erase later. Only so that you don't confuse between x1, y1 and x2, y2. Sometimes what happens, you take one coordinate as x1, y1, the other as x2, y2, in your imagination, and what you do is you confuse between x1, y1 and x2, y2. Later, what happens, the coordinate that you have taken x2, y2, suddenly it becomes x1, y1. Okay, so my advice to you is, whenever you are attempting questions on your section formula, especially, you will write this x1, y1 that I have written here, you will write it with a pencil, and this x2, y2 also you will write it with a pencil, and you will write the ratios also if possible. If you are writing the ratio here in these two places, then you will write the ratio in your pencil, and later on you can erase them. Okay, equal to C, and you have 5 minus 3 is 2, 1 minus 4 is minus 3. So the coordinates of your center is 1 and minus 3 by 2, which you can also write as 1 comma minus 1.5. Okay, any questions here? No questions.
No, sir.
Let us look at the third example. Now this third example is actually an example from your reflection, the chapter on reflection that I have done. And I had told you that I will be discussing this when I'll be doing section formula. Okay, so let's discuss now this. Since we know section formula now, we are acquainted with the formula, we'll now deal with this kind of a problem. The question here is find the image of the point P in the point minus 1, 3. Now, if you remember, I told you that any image that you take of a particular point in a point, that is, we are talking about a point mirror here. Okay, image of the point in the point. In the point means, in the point here means that this coordinate is our point mirror. So let's take this as our, say, M. This is a point mirror. Okay, and you have a point here, say the point A here, 5 minus 3. We want to reflect this point A in this mirror M, the point mirror M. And I told you the reflection of this point would be such that you join these 2 points. Okay, you measure this length and you extend this straight line such that the distance that you have measured here, AM, this must be equal to the distance here, and finally you get the image of the point A dashed. Okay, so what do you see? You see here that M is the midpoint of A and A dashed. Okay, because this length, object distance, is equal to image distance. So therefore M here is the midpoint of A and A dashed. I want to find out the coordinates of the image. Okay, so what I do here is I say let the coordinates of the image of A 5 minus 3 under reflection in the point M minus 1 3 B. Let us take this as fine AB. Take an AB. Let's take this point A dashed AB. Now in the solved one I have taken B here and I have taken A dashed here, so that's okay. So what happens here is that therefore M is the midpoint of the line segment A dashed. If M is the midpoint and say if I have taken the coordinates of A dashed as say AB, therefore what should be the coordinates of A dashed? Therefore coordinates, not coordinates of A dashed, coordinates of M, sorry. If I have taken the coordinates of A dashed as AB, therefore what should be the coordinates of M? In terms of AB, I have this as my x1, y1 and this as my x2, y2. So coordinates of M would be x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. And therefore what are the coordinates of M? 5 plus A by 2 minus 3 plus B by 2. This is the coordinates of M. But what are the coordinates of M given to you? What are the coordinates of M that are given to you here? The coordinates of M is given to you as minus 1 comma 3. So therefore this must be equal to therefore 5 plus A by 2 comma minus 3 plus B by 2 must be equal to minus 1 comma 3. So now we can get the value of A. That means 5 plus A by 2 is equal to minus 1 and 3 plus B minus 3 in fact minus 3 plus B by 2 is equal to 3. So that means 5 plus A is equal to minus 2 and minus 3 plus B is equal to 6. That means A is minus 2 minus 5 and B is 6 plus 3. That means A is minus 7 and B is 9. So therefore what is the coordinates of A dashed? Coordinates of the image of A 5 minus 3 under reflection in the point M minus 1, 3 is A dashed, A comma B, and A comma B we have found out the value as minus 7 comma 9. Any questions here till this point?